Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Awesome Turkey Gaming, and today I would like to talk about No Man's Sky. So as some of you probably know, I streamed this game at the time of recording this a day ago. The stream did sort of fuck up because one, it was very late, later than I intended it to because of computer problems, and there was problems with launching No Man's Sky. So after playing No Man's Sky a little bit off stream as well, I decided to make this video saying whether I like the game or whether I don't, and ultimately answering the question, is it a good game? So let's get right into the news. The first thing I would like to say is that the game isn't very repetitive. This is one of the things that I was most concerned about because the game is huge. It's 585 quintillion years. That's the time it would take for you to explore everything, I think. So obviously that's pretty fucking big. Of course I've only played a few hours of the game, so I can't say if it's totally not repetitive, but from what I've played so far, I've went to a few planets, I've went to a few star systems, I can confirm that it isn't very repetitive, because every planet that I've went on has been different in its own way. Some planets do look very similar, but they always have a really cool difference, such as a change in atmosphere density, or maybe the language spoken by the natives. Another thing that I do quite like about the game is the performance. So, when I was streaming this game, the performance wasn't too amazing. I think this was down to the fact that I was streaming, but the performance while I was streaming was pretty bad. However, with a bit of optimization, and when I wasn't streaming, I found out that the game actually ran really well, with settings bumped pretty much all the way up. And of course the game doesn't look the best in the world, but when you're playing the game, you really do not care about the graphics in whatsoever. It's really just allowing yourself to immerse yourself in this really huge literal universe. It's absolutely bloody amazing. One thing that I don't really like about No Man's Sky so far is that the learning curve is very intuitive. So at the start the player is really told what they have to do, but only to a certain extent. So for example, when I wanted to install my hyperdrive, it didn't tell me anything about what I needed to build the hyperdrive itself. It just told me, build a hyperdrive. It doesn't ever actually tell you how to craft stuff, and if it does it in like a little small box that's in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. This I do find quite annoying when I'm desperately in dire need of something, but of course I can just head over to Google and, you know, search it up. But it would be much better if the game actually told you what you had to do. On the subject of doing stuff in the game, there are many different ways to play the game. So far, I've just been following what the UI's been telling me to do. Build a hyperdrive, go to another star system, go to another planet, etc, etc. And I guess you could sort of call that a story. But there are many other ways to play the game as well. You can play it in a sort of RPG style, and head over to planets and try and talk to the inhabitants of it and get to know their language. You can also be a florist and collect flowers. Hell, you could even be a criminal if you wanted to and get really high wanted levels and kill people and shit. So there's many different ways to play the game. But I think one day what I would very much like to do is destroy every single life form on a planet. I think that'd be a pretty hard job. I really do think I can do it, you know. I mean, mass murder is really my thing, yeah? The size of the game kind of links in with how repetitive the game is. As I said, the game doesn't really feel very repetitive, but I can definitely tell you that the size is bloody huge. If you want to get anywhere with any sort of speed that doesn't take you more than 10 minutes, you have to use your fucking booster thruster pack things. And even then it takes a few minutes to get to, say, another planet that might even be a moon of another planet, so it's extremely annoying. So overall it does really get kind of annoying when you don't have the speed that you need in such a massive universe. But I really do think this sort of adds to a sense of determination, especially at the start of the game when the player is required to build a hyperdrive to travel in between star systems. Also, another thing that sort of surprised me about No Man's Sky was that on day one, it was not very buggy at all. Now, I am sort of contradicting myself when I say this, because my stream yesterday was halted by the game not bloody opening, but that was sort of my fault. There was a very easy fix around it. All I needed to do was go into Task Manager and double click on something. But of course that might not be so obvious to some other people. However, I have not encountered a single bug apart from that launching glitch sort of thing within the actual game itself. If I were to give my overall opinion on this game, I would say that It's a good game. It's a very good game. It's not buggy, and it's very big. It also constantly gives you something to do, even if you think you've finished everything. When you think you finished everything, you find out, hey, no I haven't. I'm in a universe that's 585 quintillion light years long. Like, how can you get bored in such a big universe? And I think the fact that this is an actual universe, playing this game really does make you detach from the real world that you're living in, if that makes sense. Playing No Man's Sky just sort of makes you forget about your real life problems and all your shit that's going on in real life, and it just kind of allows you to truly escape everything in a whole nother universe. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. That was my thoughts on No Man's Sky. I hope it's informed you a little bit, because I do know that there are some mixed reviews, as you could say, going around at the moment. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.